Hi and welcome. I'm Mike, Content Manager here at Fieldcode. We're going to go over the release from the 12th of December, last Thursday. Enterprise feature. So this time we have a big enterprise feature. This is the revamped and redesigned automated dispatching. This is something that's been live for a while, but we improved it greatly. Automated dispatching is when you have it set for a dispatch group, and then each individual dispatch group can have automated dispatching on, which when turned on, any tickets that are in the ticket pool for a dispatch group will auto dispatch to the timeline. Yeah, so the dispatcher doesn't have to do the manual dispatching. They can just do the manual scheduling after everything's been dispatched. So how do you get there? First, you want to make your way to a dispatch group page. And then here, you're going to see the switch here at the bottom if you're an enterprise customer. For business and free customers, they're not going to see these switches at all. So for enterprise, you have these two switches. This switch is now grayed out because just-in-time publishing is something that will come later. We have grayed it out because it doesn't work how we want it to at this time, but we're improving that as well, and we'll release it sometime in the future. But for now, automated dispatching is working and working even better than ever. So when you have it on for the dispatch group, you just turn it on here, save it, and I'll show you in the front end what happens around the workplace. So in this case, you see I don't have it on, so I'm not going to see it for this group here. So now let's make our way back to workplace. So you see Germany, there's nothing automated dispatching. I can run the dispatcher manually, and it works just fine as before, right? So as it's running, we get the notification. So this group is running manually. And now we have a new icon here. So you see this icon here is for when an individual dispatch group is running, we have an icon, the magic wand here, with tooltip optimization is running for this group. So you can clearly see that this dispatch group is being optimized manually. Now we're going to go to my automated dispatch group, and now we have a new switch. If you switch a dispatch group, like if I want to switch this to automatic dispatching now and save it, it could take some time, up to 30 minutes for this switch to show. Most time it's usually quicker, but no later than 30 minutes will this switch show up. So don't be concerned if this switch is not showing right away. It does take some time for our system to recognize that the switch is turned on the admin panel and to display it in workplace. So once it is on, it's good to go. So you can turn it on or turn it off. When it's off, this works just like a dispatch group without automated dispatching. You can run the optimizer manually, you can drag and drop tickets as you need, but as soon as you turn that switch on, drag and drop is turned off. Any kind of manual optimization is turned off, which you'll see right now. So I'm gonna turn on for this group. So now you see manual dispatching is off. There's no drag and drop function no more for this group. And we now have this new messaging center here. So you click on the details here. We have new messages for automated dispatching. So you can see when it was last ran. You can see when the solver started, and you'll see when the optimization will start. So I just turned the switch on. So you can see now it's going to start at 16:10. Right now it's 16:05. So again, I'll still go over what should happen. So right now we got to wait till 16:10 till it starts picking up tickets, start auto dispatching it. So what's going to happen is it's going to start just dropping tickets in the timeline from tomorrow up to 7 days from tomorrow. So it's not going to dispatch tickets for today. So automated dispatch is always going to book for the next day plus 7 days. So what should happen here in a couple minutes once we come back to this, tickets are going to start showing up here under these two engineers, whatever dispatcher decides, up to this one. In this case, it's absent, so it's not going to apply anything to me, up to 7 days in advance. So we'll come back to this and we'll start seeing tickets populating the timeline. Yeah, that's for automated dispatching. We'll come back to it and we'll see the tickets. In the meantime, on to the next feature. As you can see, we have redesigned the on-call and the absences. So it only takes up half of the real estate on the timeline row here. And it's above. So when you do have tickets there, you can see the drive time clearly, you can see the ticket clearly, so it's not interfering. There was issues when it was covering the whole timeline. It didn't look very good because when you had timeline and a bunch of tickets on there, it just looked kind of clunky. And as you might have seen already, if there's an absence and an on-call duty, we split it in half and move the on-call duty below and the absence up top. For convenience, it's going to be much better like that. So now, also, we have the date range rather than an individual day. So what was happening before is we had an individual on-call duty for Monday, individual on-call duty for Tuesday, individual for Wednesday, so on and so forth. And it wasn't very helpful because when you clicked on that day, you only saw that day. So now you can click on the whole on-call and you can see the date range this engineer is going to be on call for. So in this case, they're on call from the 16th to the 22nd. You don't have to skip through each individual day to see when is this last day on call no more. So that is a great quality of life improvement. All right, cool. So let's move on to the next one. So we have a couple more minutes till the automated dispatching should kick in. So let's go to another feature, which would be parts ETA delivery update. I don't have a real part to show you, but I can use the image here. So basically what happens is when you add a part to a ticket, you create the part manually, you add your information, you add some shipping details, you add your ETA manually and your ETA time manually, your storage time, and then you want to add a tracking code. When you add this tracking code, it's going to reach out to the service we use for tracking packages, and it's going to send some data back. And once you add your tracking code to the shipping, you're going to see this button will be grayed out for a little bit until it picks up the data from our tracking services. And then you're going to be able to click on this button. Once you can click on this button, you'll open up the tracking screen. And the tracking screen, as you already know, has all the information about the actual information from the tracking data. What is new is that now we're going to send the delivery date. So if it was already delivered before, this was just the manually entered ETA from when you created the shipping. So now what it's going to do is it's going to take if it was delivered before the engineer gets there, we're now going to display the delivery date from the tracking services, so the live delivery date, to the part itself. So the dispatcher or anybody looking at it in the workplace is going to see the actual live delivery date or ETA from the tracking services, not the one manually entered. So this should be much better. And again, another quality of life improvement for your dispatchers so they can actually do some live part tracking. So we hope you like that one. And again, another feature, copy ticket URL. So now if I'm looking at a ticket and, oh, I want to share this with my colleague, we now have just the option just to quickly click on the button. You copy the URL. You can go to any link here, paste it. You see the URL saved here. It's CNI equals 417. So I enter that one. And then now you have, it's going to open up as long as the user you send it to has access to Workplace. It's going to open up to Workplace with that ticket open for them to view, to look at. Another advantage to that is you can use that same URL you copied. For now, manually, you can create an automated action using that URL snippet to create, if you want to send an email to someone when in this case, the ticket is set to is VIP. If it's a VIP ticket, it's going to trigger the action. In this case, it would send an email where I can then use this same URL, just remove the hard-coded CNI in there and add the alias CNI. Did I do good? I don't know. Got to click on it. There you go. You just got to make sure to get rid of that space in between your equals. So now this can be run every time. So if you save this, you set up your tos and froms and all that in your subject. So now this email will be sent out every time whatever action is triggered with a link to the ticket using this alias here. So that is a nice added extra feature there for copying ticket URL. For now, we got other ones to look at. Workflow monitoring. I don't have any actual errors right now, but if you have errors in your workflow, we now have the option to skip any errors. You could before retry errors, but it wasn't possible to skip errors. You now have the option to skip error. You can also see that in the image provided. Here, right here. So if there's a workflow error, you're going to see a skip button. You can skip it. It's just going to skip over whatever failure is happening there. It might not be important, whatever you need. You're going to just skip it. Also with that, you can now see the history of the ticket path. So once you go to the ticket nudge page here, and you know the CNI that you skipped something or retried something, you type in the CNI, you go to the ticket history. Just as an example, I can show you where that ticket history is at. So you go to ticket history here, and then you'll be able to see who skipped it or who didn't skip. You'll see the name of the person here in the ticket path as seen in the image shared. So it looks similar to this. So at 10:56, so-and-so skipped or retried. So that is a fun one. All right. So another improvement here, we increased the delay on the tooltips here for the map. So now, before, if you were scrolling over this quickly with your mouse, that pop-up would pop up every time you even touch an icon. We've now slowed that delay down a little bit so you can actually nicely, without annoyance, click on everything or hover over an icon so it'll show up quickly. Let's move on to back to the admin panel. Interface monitoring. Data sits here, and if there's no action done to it or nothing's happened, you've been retrying or been not acknowledged, and it would auto archive. As before, it was always auto archiving, but we never displayed the messaging there. So now, if you do see some row here, and you're wondering why you can't click on anything, we now provide a message that it's been auto archived. Everything is auto archived automatically after 30 days of no action. So just so you're aware, nothing's broken. We now provide proper messaging when it is auto archived. All right, another quality of life improvement. This is from our users here. So now when you are in a project, editing or creating a project, and you're trying to set the value sets here, there was no way before to filter out the active inactive ones. So if I set some inactive or active, and I was trying to use the filter, I didn't have no way to filter out the inactive ones. So now we do. So when you go to filter, you can now select active or inactive, and you can just display the active ones that you want to see. Another cool added feature is as soon as you inactivate it, it automatically removes it from the list. So it's not going to bother you at all while you're working on which value sets you want available for this project. And if you want to just quickly look at your inactive ones, just quickly go back to inactive. Oh, I didn't mean to deactivate that one. Let me go back really quickly. You can just check your active and inactive ones for the value sets tab under project. FMA, we have some improvements to the signature screen. So before, when you were, I had some other tickets ready. Let's go here. So we want to report on this ticket here. I'll just save it real quick. So now we have the signature screen. So right away, you'll notice we have this new box here for the Android device. And you can sign as before here. But before, when you, let's say your customer signed it, or your engineer was trying to sign it for his part, and he turned his screen sideways, you would lose a signature. That is no longer the case. As you can see, you can turn it to portrait and landscape mode. The signature stays. It does not get erased or removed. You can also, you have introduce a back button. So if you made a mistake in your signature or you want to improve it in any kind of way, you can do that as well. And whatever's saved inside that little box there is what's going to be saved in your report form. So it just saves a little JPEG to signature. And the same works as for Android or iOS, sorry. Let's go to iOS. Yes, type here. Go to signature page. 1, 2, 3. And you turn sideways. It remains there. It's the same. You can undo as well. Delete the whole thing. Start over. Whenever you need to do. All right. Once you're done, you see the signature stays right here and gets pushed forward. Another fun one. for both iOS and Android is we have introduced, I think in the last release, we introduced the device serial search. We've now added to that, so now you can, rather than just search for the device by clicking on the magnifying glass, which could be helpful in some cases, but we lost the ability to copy that serial number. That is now back. So you can now just simply click on the serial number. It's provided right there. You can just long press it, copy it. Engineer can then paste it to wherever it needs to go. And same applies to iOS. So go to your device, and instead of pressing the magnifying glass to search past tickets, you can just hold long press on the serial number, either there or also on the barcode. You can long press on the barcode there and copy the serial number and share it with whoever you need to. That's it for both of them. In general, though, Android got some other kind of love. So there was some input lags and slowness while typing that has been fixed. So now reporting should be much smoother when filling out input fields. No more lagness and slowness when filling out the forms. Also, we've improved saving speed when filling out forms. It's now 5 times faster than before when filling out forms, which improved the device's memory as well as improved the form performance. We've also did some database management, so no longer will the Android app bloat. Yeah, so any kind of redundant files will be removed right away. They'll no longer save on the device, which will also reduce the app size as well. So we optimized the database management side of things to reduce any kind of bloat, so it doesn't get out of control for you guys, for your engineers. That is all I have for now. Thank you, everybody.